like a pro. You thought.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to Brandi Beauty TV. Today I'm going to be performing a single weft microlink maintenance service. And so I'm going to show you how I remove each row and make it look brand new again. In addition, we're also going to be covering up Shakey's grays. She got a couple wiry little gray hairs on her hairline, but we're going to get rid of those. And I'm super excited because she's going to allow me to style her hair a bit differently than what she normally gets. So you all get to be the first to see it. So I'm excited, and I'm going to show you how I perform this service. And it can seem a bit complex. It's really not complex. It's more tedious than anything, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So to start, I'm first going to remove the entire row, and Shakey has the single weft microlinks. Now, this is actually her first time, I believe, ever having microlinks, and I recommended them for her. One, because Shakey's hair is very, very, very healthy, and for microlinks, you have to have healthy hair. This is not the kind of hair extension service that you get if you have compromised hair. Edges are missing, crowns are missing. If you suffer from hair loss, whether it be genetic or traction alopecia, this is not the service for you, because you have to have hair to be able to cover and camouflage the links. So microlinks are good for added volume, for added length, subtle added length. I even really wouldn't go too long, but some people do it, but you have to have the correct density for that. If your hair is super thick, this is not something that I would recommend as well. So normally this service suits people who have thinner to more medium density. People who have high density hair, I wouldn't perform this service. So Shakey, as you can see, she has a healthy hairline. Her hair is it's full, and I'm not gonna say it's super thick, but she has very full hair. So even though her density is thick, her strands are not coarse. So that leaves her room to be able to play with length. So I'm going to insert a picture so you can see just how healthy her hair is without the microlinks and how long how long it is. But what we're going to do is I wanted to add a little bit more length to her hair because Shakey is big on volume. So in order to achieve that, I added some rows of microlinks, and this is a complete full install, and we were able to take her down about 4 inches or so, about 4 or 5 inches. She got an additional length, and the volume was there too, so she wound up really loving it. So to complete her new install, or her maintenance service rather, I'm going to remove each row, and then after that I'm going to comb it out thoroughly, because in between tightens, all the hair loss that you would normally have, it will get trapped. And so in order to prevent your hair from matting, you have to stay on a very consistent and strict maintenance schedule. Otherwise, it can turn into a microlink disaster. So Shakey keeps up with her appointments. She comes when she's supposed to come. And so I'm more than confident that she's not going to experience any of those issues, which she never has. She experiences normal hair loss, which is normal because your hair comes out anyway. It's just that when it's in installs, it doesn't get to fall out like it normally would if it were left all out. So being that it's trapped in those beads, it's your job to remove the bead and comb it out before it starts to mat and tangle around the rest of the hair. So she gets that done maybe every 6 to 8 weeks, which is ideal for her and what her hair can handle. And then after combing it out and making sure it's all detangled, I go through, kind of lift up any like little dead skin cells that might be on the scalp, anything like that. And then I go back and I just reattach the row with the beads. And that is pretty much the process. And I just do that all the way up until the top. So I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty of Shakey's install, so you can learn just a couple of my little tricks and stuff that I do, because my microlinks are definitely not one size fit all, and oftentimes you wind up having to do and tweak every install. So it's not that it can't be performed easily, it's just that placement is so critical to wearing microlinks, because if you take it up too far or not enough, you can have an obvious density difference, and it'll be very noticeable. They can show, the beads can show. I mean, it's just so many things that can go wrong with microlinks. So I have to always think, so far ahead as to how I'm going to perform a service and what's going to be my plan. So in Shakey's case, she wanted hair color, and I was like, okay, we can do that. But she also wanted her links colored as well, or her extensions. And so I was just like, okay, so that makes it even more complex, because now I have to figure out, do you want your extensions to have most of the color on them, or do you want your hair to have most of the color on it, or do you want both? So it was a process. It takes time to get to your dream color sometimes, especially when you're building it from nothing. We had to really play around with some things, and I think it took 2 sessions to get her exactly to where she wanted to be. So the first go around, I installed her hair, and I did her hair color first. No, I'm lying, y'all. That was actually 3 sessions. So we did her hair color first, and then after that, we did the install, and I colored the extensions to match. She said she wanted some ice blonde, but I said, well, Shakey, you get, a lot of demi color and really dark color sometimes. I said, so let's not put that much ice blonde on your hair, because you are going to be having microlinks in. So let's not put stress on your hair if we don't have to. You're already going to be having extensions, and so that's already going to take up your care a lot. So we don't want to compromise it entirely too much. So I said, okay, let's opt for a better option. Let's put the lighter color on the extensions, so that way you have the best of both worlds. So after coloring her hair, I installed those extensions, and then she got her blonde. But then the issue was, it wasn't enough blonde. It was a little drowned out, because like I said, her hair was still left kind of dark. We didn't do a whole lot of hair color. And on the extensions, I did minimal blonde, but I should have done more initially, but it was okay. We were still building, and I'd rather have to add more later than take it away. I mean, it's always easier to build than have to remove. So the next time she came back, she said, it's just not enough a blonde for me. I think I want a little bit more. And I was just like, okay, cool beans, we can do it. So after that, we went back and I did another session, and then we got to this perfect blend of all these colors you now see, and it turned out pretty good. It turned out really, really good, actually. And so that was a excellent call for us not to put the blonde so much on her natural hair, because that would have, had it been compromised way more than what it should have been. So it turned out great. So now that we are done applying Shakey's demi color and getting her all nice and prepped, I went ahead and I shampooed her hair off camera. But I do need to mention that the shampoo and blow dry process of a microlink install is very, very, very critical, and you have to be very, very careful. One, because you can easily snag a bead. These beads are aluminum and they do not shift, they do not move. You have to give that hair a good tug. And if you give that hair a good tug and it moves, more than likely some of that hair has come out with it. So I am very careful to break the hair down into sections when I shampoo it, and I take my time to make sure they are at the bowl a little bit while longer, yes, but it pays off at the end because I'm like, look, this is temporary, okay? So we're not going to treat this like it's your hair. It ain't. It's extensions, and it's a very high maintenance luxury kind of hair extension install as well. So I treat the hair very delicately when shampooing and blow drying the hair, and I just take my time and I go through, and then after I blow dry it thoroughly and I make sure I get it as dry and as smooth as I can, I then sit them up under the dryer like on warm, and I let the wefts dry, because if the wefts don't dry, your hair you're at the root can easily revert and get curly, on my naturals especially. So we don't want that. We want to ensure that we keep that hair strong, we keep it dry. We don't want it to start to smell, because if you don't dry it thoroughly, it can also begin to build up an odor. We don't want that. So after that process, she's really good to go, and that's really one of the most important parts before even styling, is making sure that it's manageable, it's dry, and it's been cleansed. Do y'all see how we placed Shakey's hair color on the extensions? Like, it came out great, and I love that we were able to amplify her hair and give her that look she was going for without compromising her natural hair. And that is the beauty of microlinks. I think microlinks are a great install, but the sad part is that everybody cannot keep up with that maintenance, and I have seen it starting to trend a lot lately that people are losing hair from microlinks, and I'm just like, oh, tisk, because the install is that's one part. Okay, great. It's installed and it looks nice and you feel like $1 million when you walk out the door. But what's your hair look like in 2-3 weeks? What does it look like in 4, 5, 6 weeks? You can't skip out on a maintenance appointment when it comes to microlinks. You just can't. It's not like a sew-in where you can braid it up, decide whether or not you want to wash your hair or not for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 3 months, because sometimes these folks be wearing them for forever. But it's not like a sew-in. It's not like a quick weave and you can just take the whole thing out. No, you can lose your hair with this. You can lose your hair with the other extension methods as well. But with microlinks, the stakes are higher. That hair can come out. So you have to be very careful. So I do like how natural it looks. It is one of the more natural looking install methods, I think, because you're not limited to just one. I would guess it's not like it's left on default. Like when you wear sew-in, you normally gonna go, like, you want a middle part or you want a side part, or you want a closure. Like, it's pretty much just there. But with the microlinks, you have so much more versatility. You can wear high ponytail, low ponytail, but all your hair is left out too. So you have to still care for your hair. So those are kind of like, the pros and cons of that. And like I said, it's not for everybody. But for people who don't mind visiting the salon a little bit more frequently, or having to maintain something, don't mind caring for it, then you might be a good candidate if your stylist, once they judge your density and your length and your edges and all that stuff, they take account of all those things, and you're one of those people who just don't mind that kind of maintenance, go for it. Okay, so like I mentioned before, guys, Shakey is not with the straight hair. She's not with flat hair. The bigger, the better for Shakey, okay? Like, when it comes down to styling her hair, Like, it's so effortless because I know only thing she gonna want me to do is blow it dry and maybe throw some curls in it, or she might even say, you don't even have to worry about styling it, just get it really dry for me. And she'll go home and she'll put some crimps in it or something. And I remember one time she had an appointment and I sent her home. I was just like, you don't need your hair done. I said, your hair looks too good. Like, what in the world? Because she actually really knows how to do hair. She's really handsy when it comes down to like fashion and just the aesthetics of things. She really knows how to beautify herself. And I mean, she's already naturally beautiful. She doesn't need makeup and stuff like that at all. She's a very beautiful woman, but she knows how to enhance herself really nicely. So I mean, when she comes in, it's so easy to do her styling. But I was like, okay, this time I want to see your hair straight. And of course she cringed up and she was just like, okay, I'm going to try something different. I was like, yes, finally, praise the Lord. So she let me go in and straighten up her hair, and I'm putting some tossed curls in it now. And I can't wait to turn her around. And y'all, when I tell you I had knots in my stomach the entire time, I was like, Lord, please let this lady like her hair, because I am putting my all to make sure she likes her hair. So yeah, I can't wait for y'all to see her reaction.
Ooh, so pretty. Oh my goodness. She just felt like she fed and good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my goodness, yes.
Look at the camera and wave, Shakey. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanksgiving is coming up, so happy Thanksgiving. Hold on to your loved ones. Y'all be safe, and I will see y'all next week in my next video.